Okay, GTII community, it looks like there could be a very nice opportunity here in the shorter time frame. Let's go ahead and go over those details now. What is up, you guys? Thank you so much for stopping by. Once again, this is ARCa coming at you with a GTII technicals, raw price action, and statistical threat of analysis on this happy Monday. Before we get started, please make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share the video with a friend so that you and them could consider joining our trading community in Discord called ARCa Bulls. With that said, let's go ahead and dive right into the charts. Okay, so yes, we are looking at GTII on a 12-hour chart here, and this is going to be a bit of a recap from what we looked at on, I believe, on Thursday, right? So what we noticed here is that we had, per the stochastic momentum or the stochastics oscillator, we noticed that we had 3 drives of hidden bullish divergence forming, but it wasn't quite confirmed or validated just yet. Okay, so today was essentially that validation, and it looks like we are making a move to the upside like we kind of expected, right? So we did leave these things drawn in here. We changed the colors, right? Just so that we can see how the movement is happening. So we were expecting first a cross of the blue 14-day simple moving average above the 3-day exponential moving average. So let's just go ahead and take a look to see what's happening within that. Okay, so that move looks like it's happening already just like we thought, right? So here's the blue one crossing over the exponential moving average 3 period, and it looks like it's already starting an upward momentum. Okay, so this is already a very good sign. Okay, so this is what I mean by validation or confirmation of the 3 drives of hidden bullish divergence. Okay, so that usually happens well, the divergence is actually the opposition of price action versus momentum, and in this case, you can see that momentum is making a series of lower lows. Wow, and the price action is making a series of higher lows. Okay, so that divergence signals us a potential upside continuation, okay, or the upside, or a reversal, or whatever, a pivot point. Okay, so now there is a very interesting situation happening here in the 6-hour chart. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and go over that data in just a bit, but I would like to show you just kind of what's happening here on the daily time frame, as we got a massive bullish hammer here. Usually, you know, candle analysis, it's a little whatever. The thing is that we are on a daily here, and it is you know, candles do carry some weight when they do print on the daily chart. Okay, so in this particular case, we do have a candle suggesting a potential reversal. Okay, so, and in fact, we did get a massive amount of volume today compared to the previous day. So the last red candle here was pretty competitive, right? So this was 1.256 million in volume, and today's green candle traded 1.275 million. Okay, so a little bit higher than the bears on the last iteration, right? So this is looking pretty good. Okay, so now that we do have one signal suggesting a potential incoming pivot or reversal or whatever you want to call it, then there is a way for us to look at the statistics based on a shorter time frame back test, right? So what we're looking at here now is actually sorry about that. This is going to be the 6-hour, right? So just like this, let's just go ahead and correct that right now. And this is a very particular back test. Okay, so what I did here is that, let me just make it very large here and take a look at this. Okay, so what I did here is that I took a back test from any time that volatility has reversed or started a pivot from the 80 to 90 percentile. Okay, so within this range, I have taken a back test since about, I'd say I gave it to about 2007. Okay, so about 16 years of back test that I did here on the 6-hour time frame, right? So what the criteria was, or the context is that anytime we've started to contract from that zone paired with stochastic momentum, you know, with an upside pivot, I have taken note of that iteration's upside thrust, just like this one here, right? Let's just go ahead and take a look at it very closely. Okay, so we went within that 80 to 90%, started a contraction phase, got an slightly upside pivot here, right? This iteration ended up being about 18 hours long, and the upside thrust was about 21.63% upon that criteria. Okay, so this is that was a pretty good iteration, right? So throughout the last 16 years, right? So just so you can kind of see what I did, this was just a backtest that I performed today for GTII, right? So all of these are the samples that we grabbed in order for us to create a statistical mean. Okay, so now that you know the entire backtest history that I did here, let's go ahead and go over those results. Okay, so I measured a total of 30 iterations, of which 22 were guessed correctly to the upside, giving us an averaged upside accuracy of 73.33%. Pretty good. Okay, now the averaged upside thrust, upon meeting those conditions, we actually got about 98.06%. Okay, now I'm sorry that I actually didn't put this here, but I can get you that the average duration right now. Okay, so the average duration total was 312 days. So all we do really is actually we take 312 divided by the correct amount of iterations, which is 22, right? And then we get that average. Okay, so the average here is actually coming out to 14.18 days on average upon the firing of the signal. Okay, so the signal has essentially fired, but I would like to see one more thing. Okay, so let's just refer back to that iteration where we were just at, right? So I think it was this one here. We would definitely want the bulls in control per the DMI indicator. Okay, this indicator here. So yeah, as you can see, when we do make an upside move, you definitely get the bulls to take kind of control here, right? So that's essentially what we're looking for. Same situation here. We got the bulls in control. So, but yeah, you can see that we were still under the bears at the point of the firing, but eventually it actually started making the upside move, and then the bulls took over, right? So there is that little detail right now that we would like to still, kind of meet, because the bulls are definitely under it, and in fact we're trending market for bears right now. Okay, so that would be a great addition for the signal to officially be fired for an upside move. Okay, but already the stochastic momentum, which is represented by stochastic, literally StochMo, it's already pivoted towards the upside, right? So you can see right down here that we already have an upside pivot from both the moving averages, the 3-period and the 14-period simple, okay? And we're already starting to contract as well, moving average and volatility component, okay? So this is indicative of a potential mean reversion, okay? But usually mean reversions I would like to see fully expanded within the 90 percentile instead of the 80 percentile. So if we are starting to mean revert, then I can actually bring up, my algo. So let's go ahead and pull up the reversion variant and see if we do have something upside of us. There we go. Okay, so the mean reversion is suggesting a $1.78 target, okay, which is already, it's familiar to you because I had already spoken about that. I spoke about us finding the support, from down to this area, which we're currently doing, right? And we're reversing from it. And this is the chop box that I told you that we would be riding in. So $1.82 would be my personal top, right? So the mean reversion is suggesting a top of 178. And if we are looking at the top side of the bands, which is also possible, if you can see here, we came all the way back down, right? And we came all the way back up to touch the bands. We've even retraced from the top of the bands and came back down, right? So in this case, we've been riding those bands all the way down. So there is the possibility as well that we can actually face an upside move here. So the top of the bands are suggesting about 255. Okay, so what's curious about the top of the band target, not only the fact that we're already suggesting a target that we were already looking for from the support bottom where we're currently sitting, right? What's curious here is that the top of the bands is 254. Now, if we apply that statistical backtest, or the mean per the 6-hour volatility versus momentum expansion to contraction backtest, 98.06% upside thrust with a 14.18 day average. Okay, so applying that 98.06% to the upside, we get a very curious target right here. We get it to be about $2.68 or 67 cents, which is very similar to the top side of the bands, which is around 254. Okay, so now we have four very confluent targets. Okay, first of all, 178 to the 182 that we're looking at within this target here, right? And we also have the Bollinger Band top alongside the statistical backtest. Okay, so now four targets are very, very familiar. So this is looking like there could be a possible, up thrust here that we didn't see coming before. All right, so now there is a setup here for it, and it's already firing. Okay, so this just kind of like putting it out there for you, just to kind of give you some good news regarding the short-term setup. Now, upon meeting that upside thrust, the 6-hour time frame does have enough power to start influencing the 8-hour, the 12-hour, the daily, and maybe not the bi-daily just yet, but that. If it starts influencing the daily, then the daily would have the influence to the bi-daily in this particular situation, right? So it is looking pretty good. I just wanted to kind of put that out there for you guys because it seems as though it is following something very nice. Another thing that's kind of supporting an upside here is, in fact, this Gaussian channel. Okay, so the Gaussian channel is actually something that I've taken into account throughout the entire trading history of GTII. So anytime that we have kind of succeeded the top side of the mean band, which is the middle, we've kind of made a pretty explosive move to the upside upon validating that support, right? So, for example, here back in 2004, we actually made our way back up to this band, right? These are the 2-week candles. Remember, this is a long time for one candle to close, so 2 weeks long. Okay, so it looks like we came back up, we failed the band, right? And then we reclaimed it and made a pretty exponential move to the upside. And that move to the upside was about a 313% move, right? So very, very impressive there. Now let's go ahead and continue over here. This was a failed attempt. Here's another one where we actually, started testing it, and then we made an upside move here. So upon that breakout on the biweekly, you can actually see that upon this opening of the candle, that was another 300% move to the upside. Very impressive upside moves here. Okay, so here's this. I'm not sure what I can do about this, right? But upon the retest of the top side of the bands, then we can actually take an iteration from that, and it's 310% to the upside. Okay, so there's a lot of 300 here, kind of rhyming, right? So, and in this particular situation here, you can see that we broke out of it, came back and tested it, and within these tests, we were making upside moves. Okay, so I mean, arguably here, this move was about, let's just say from this candle here, it was about an 858% move to the upside, right? So this smaller move here, upon the validation of it, was almost a 100% move. And then, of course, this one, we came back and validated it there and then continued on to the upside, right? So in this particular case, this move ended up being a very, this kind of an outlier here, right? So this move ended up being about a 7,300% move to the upside. So why I'm mentioning this is because of the following. Please notice that our candle, the price action from today ended up, let me just go ahead and get rid of this so we can have a pretty clear picture, right? Just like this. So our price action from today ended up bringing the candle down to about $1.18, right? So right down here, and we actually bounced and reclaimed the outside or the inside of the top side of the mean band, right? So yet again, it looks like we're starting to test it for a potential move to the upside. Similarly to what happened here, to where we had that $9 run, right? So, we had the rejection, huge rejection. We came back and tested it. We closed above the mean band, and then we actually made a move to the upside. Okay, so this now makes it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This now makes 6 iterations of biweekly candles. Actually, 5, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This would be the 7th, right? But we still have 10 days and 20 hours to close. It's an eternity away. But there are 6 iterations of which have closed above the mean band on the bi-weekly iteration. Okay, so this is a very good sign, and there could be a continuation to the upside from here. Now, if you were to see the upside of the mean of the Bollinger Bands here, you can see that it's about $2.36. Okay, so $2.36 may, I'm not sure what it can be, but it is actually may very well be a mean, right? So we can always validate those things. So let's just see what $2.36 looks like. So $2.36 is in fact pretty much the resistance of this. This is $2.35 here. Okay, so, and 235 located right about here also has to do with the closing of this candle here and several other resistances. Okay, so it is looking like it would be following a pretty geometric pattern here. Okay, so taking into consideration the previous weekly candle to the present weekly candle low, 236 would land us just above the 1.618 and under the 2 fib. Okay, so it's already looking pretty good. Now, in respects to the back test from the 6-hour time frame of the target where we're looking at about 267, then 267 would put us right under the 2.618 golden mean. So yet again, another golden mean coming up. So it is following market geometry, so that's already good. Okay, so it looks like it is mathematical in a sense, whatever may be happening here. Okay, so now the 182 target that we're looking at per the chop box, and that's essentially, it's our 1 fib. We took it from the opening of the weekly candle, prior to this one here. So that would naturally be an area of resistance. Okay, you guys, so now the last part of the analysis real quick. I know that this went on a little longer than we thought, but it's important for me to explain it to you, right? So upside on the 30-minute immediate short-term time frame, 4 hours starting to make a cross above the 14-day symbol, which is very good, and a 12-hour with an upside pivot, and it has a very long distance from the 14-day simple moving average resistance line, which could be indicative of facing resistance from the 178 to 182 target on the 12-hour. Okay, now facing the larger time frames like the daily and the bi-daily, yes, they do have upside pivots, and we are within the gravitational zone here that can pull us up to the upside. But these would honestly be waiting for the influence from the shorter time frames. Okay, but the good thing is that they are pitched to the upside. This is the 3-day iteration. This is the daily here. Okay, so bi-daily, let's see, it should be around the same-ish. Yeah, so bi-daily, same situation here. Okay, you guys. So it's looking pretty good for GTII. Let's see what tomorrow has for us. But I'm definitely seeing a potential upside continuation in the near term. Okay, you guys, so please remember, first and foremost, that I am not a financial advisor. Take whatever I do show and iterate within these videos as just a form of entertainment, as I cannot suggest for you to buy or sell any assets whatsoever, okay? I need you to do your own due diligence and everything will be just fine. Okay, you guys, but with that said, I wish you well, and I wish you a very good night, and I will catch you at the bell mañana. Adios.